Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Proving Grounds Pod, your one-stop shop for all things Proving Grounds. My name is Smax, and I'm joined by my constant co-host, Cubby, and we are here today with a very special guest, the support for Counter Logic Game Academy, Hooks, here with us today on episode 12. Hooks, how are you doing on this fine day?
I'm doing great, man. Couldn't be better.
Very nice. All right. Before we get into anything, Hooks, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good of a hooker actually are you?
That's the opener. Oh man.
I'd say a pretty good hooker. Got some little areas to work on, like my pike, but
That's a new one.
He's still a hooker. Yeah, pike's a hooker. So
yep.
Gotta clean up the area aspect in all areas.
I've seen a lot of the dredge lines, the Spider-Mans throughout the years, or I should say the year at your role. It's pretty clean. But yeah, and exciting for us. We get to see more of that. For Giant Slayer, I know that obviously qualifying for Proving Grounds is ideal for you guys, but I'm kind of curious, going into that event as one of the 3 Academy teams. A couple extra reps for you guys with the new team. Is that something you guys are looking for, like as you're still trying to incorporate your main roster?
Yeah. I mean, we lost in the Grand Prix, but I think we only had 1 day of scrims before going in. There were some stuff with the LCS team, and then that obviously impacted our academy roster. And then we also had subs like Team Luke and Brandini. So we had 1 day playing with that iteration of the roster. And the first day we played Zeus. I mean, kind of a little tragic. It's a good learning experience, though. Honestly, I think we learned a lot. But, I mean, the way I see it is Giant Slayer is just going to be, it's just more reps, more games. And I think we're confident to take top 4, is it, to qualify? So
yeah, top 4 gets you in. And yeah, I mean, obviously, I think it's kind of curious, It feels like obviously only 1 out of the 2 academy teams made it, but the best amateur is now out. And I don't know about you, but it feels like to us that this could be a pretty wide open tournament. Is that something that like you think that the best team on the day, like do you have like any favorites going on in, or do you feel like it's kind of going to be like whoever plays the best is just going to take home the top 4?
So my feel on it is I actually think the amateur teams have like a way clearer identity of their teams. At least the teams that qualified, Solifide, No Org, and Zeus. They like if you can just look at their team, like you watch like 5 games of their 5 VODs of their games, and you just know what they do. So I think the amateur teams, like I think they do a lot better job at having an identity, and I think that goes into the amount of games that they actually play in amateur. They just have like way more games that they play compared to academy. I think with us, we're still trying to figure out our identity. Like I said, we just like recently had this 5 of the roster. So honestly, I think the amateur teams they're not bad at all. I think also another big factor versus academy and amateur is the ping as well. Like normally we're playing on like 10 ping. I'm playing all my champs. Like we were talking before we went live, it's just like champion interactions. And, let's say like Bartle on 10 ping and you're timing your stun after, it's, like if I randomly am scrimming for like 2 months and then going from like 10 ping and then now I'm like playing on live. I mean, it's just small things like that. I think they actually matter a lot in a game of like skill shot. Like 1 skill shot can win you a team fight or get you a really big chunk. So
yeah,
honestly, I think most of the amateur teams are East Coast, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if you guys know that, but
yes,
or like know exactly. But I think from what I've heard, I could be like wrong, but I've heard most players are East Coast.
No,
so,
you're spot on. You're spot on with that.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, you had Luke subbing in, and he's one of the East Coasters, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but he was playing on he was playing on
a potato.
No, he was on the LA ping because
no, exactly. And then he was also playing on a potato computer. The clip that he posted was the funniest thing I've seen in so long.
Oh, when he lagged, or
Yeah. That
yeah,
clip.
you saw that too. It's just EDM. I didn't realize he's just like, oh, because we played the day before, and he felt like the ping got in his head, and he was like mentally playing afraid. And he was just playing Kaiser the first game, and he didn't really do much. But like as a support, the second game he was playing Zaya, and he was just like willing to scrap. Like it's so fun seeing like him trying to like overcome the mental like ping gap, especially as an AD. Like
Yeah.
80 ping, AD, your first academy games, like I felt a little bad for him. And then his PC exploded, or his internet exploded the one other week, and then he drove like 4 hours to his frat house or whatever to like finally. Oh man, actually, he was so fun to work with. I think he's really good.
Yeah. We're actually, I know personally, like I'm really high on him as like an AD prospect. I know that there are like quite a few decent AD carries, some that you might be familiar with from your time, obviously playing the role as well, like Gorica has been around for a bit. Who else would have stuck around? Andy Benny hasn't found a team yet, but that's one that's like been around. But there are some good AD prospects, and I feel like Luke like really stacks up to a lot of them. Obviously, you have firsthand experience. You think he's pretty good as well.
Yeah, I think his laning is actually really, really good. I think he's just new to the scene and like new to competitive.
Yeah.
I mean, the time we worked with him, he still had like areas where he needed to like be more greedy and like push out the waves and like really play as a full carry and just know the timings of like when to group and like when to just funnel in farm for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he got a lot better at that over the time when we were playing, and his laning, honestly, whenever I played with him, he was really good. We were getting, at least when we were playing, we were getting a lot of kills in lane. And I mean, it's funny because whenever we're seeing the Giant Slayer and we played, I believe they're in our side of the same bracket. And, we're just saying, like, I was talking about identities earlier, and it's not just like, I believe he's on wild card, but we just say Team Luke. Like, oh, are you playing C9 Amateur or like Team Luke? Like, I feel like the team is literally like, I don't know. I just love his name. I love everything about him, man. He's so fun to work with.
Yeah, he's got some fun streams too. I don't know if you've caught those, but he's got the Tyler 1 headset, and he makes it work.
Dude, oh my god, it is too good. Scrimming with him with that headset is oh man, there's so many good experiences.
As someone who used to cast with that headset, yeah, I can definitely say that it is
Oh, that's
a
right.
wild ride.
That was your first mic. Oh god.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
I used to cast your games with that headset, Osama. So
we've come a long way.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, this one's a lot nicer. I'll tell you that. This is not sponsored, by the way, but if you want to hit us up, Road.
That's actually one of my favorite parts.
So.
One of my favorite parts about Tyler 1 is that he still uses that headset. I think it's so funny.
It's part of his brand.
Dude, he would lose his identity. That's what Team Luke like changed his mic one day and scrims, and we're like, yo, like to fucking change that shit again. Like, put back your old headset.
Put it
Love
back.
it when you're exploding our ear saying you're walking up mid here.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about that headset, but yeah, it's just incredible. The mic is just built for peaking, it seems.
It's built different.
I remember I switched it out one time, and everyone was like, we can't even hear you because we've got you down to like 20% on Discord. It's like,
yeah.
Hey guys, oh, that's awesome. But yeah, it's good to hear that well, at least Cubby and I's assessment of Luke is shared amongst the CLG people too, because I know Cubby's also been talking for a while about how good he thinks Luke is, especially in lane, which is awesome. Yeah, it's been really cool seeing him step into that CLG role when you guys needed him, and it's also really cool that he gets to come back to wildcard and potentially even play against you guys in the first round, or the second round, excuse me, of Giant Slayer, because you guys can have that bye. Yeah, how are you feeling about that matchup potentially against wildcard?
Honestly, I feel like with us, it's just we're playing ourselves, and it doesn't really matter who we're playing against. Like again, we're trying to like we've had a week and a half almost, or it'll be a week and a half between Proving Grounds and our Giant Slayer. So for us, we're just trying to find our own identity. I mean, it'll be fun playing against Team Luke and bot lane, but I think with us, we should have like a good rest of the map. I think their strongest point is bot lane. Team Luke and Action, I believe, is this support. I mean, I don't really see us like losing and like exploding in lane. I think that's mainly how they win their games. So I think overall we should still have an advantage against. It's C9 amateur as well in the same. It'd be dumber C9. Yeah, I think both ways we should still do fine.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Speaking of the other roster moves that you guys have had, because like you mentioned, you do now have this full roster that I suppose was intended from the beginning of the season. So with all of the roster shakeups and everything, how do you think that has affected like you as a player and your growth on this team? Because you've been on this team for a while, but this is the first time you're entering CounterLogic Gaming Academy as a support. So how are you feeling you're able to progress your skills in that role in this team so far with all of the roster shakeups and everything?
I'm not gonna lie. I think having a lot of roster changes is like not ideal.
I don't think many people would disagree with that.
Especially like playing with one thing though that I still do like is playing with Luke. I actually think I learned some good stuff from him as a support. So I still enjoy my time with Luke. It's just the team identity with like it was me and Keel for the longest time, but I believe it's only been me throughout all of the roster changes. I believe you have like 3 or 4 by now. So I've played with a new top laner, a new jungle, a new mid, and a new AD.
Twice.
Yeah, and you know, it's like, especially as a support, we're trying to like communicate and like realize what stuff that your other people communicate. So like you need to plug the holes or like, you know, say what you need to say. You know, it's changed a lot over the past 2 months, 3 months. So yeah, I would have preferred to just have one, just roster from the beginning, but it is what it is. And we're just like trying to grind out, do third blocks and just pick up the pace and get back to the level that we need to be.
Yeah, I definitely hope that you guys get there because, I mean, you had a really good set, especially against Maryville, where I saw like, oh, I can see the big picture. This is all coming together. This is what the team was intended to be. Of course, the other series as well, working out the kinks there, and now you've had some downtime going into Giant Slayer, and I'm really excited to see the intended product of CounterLogic Gaming Academy come to fruition there. Especially Katsuri, we got to get a fun interview with him as well, which is very cool. Getting to hear him speak on that sort of thing. But yeah, one other thing about everything that has shaken up on CounterLogic Gaming Academy is you've had to work with a lot of rookies, and you've got a lot of experience doing that because you had the entire last year on 100 Next with 4 rookies the whole time. Is that a role that you are really liking doing, as you got a little taste of it earlier in this season, and I guess you can't really consider RJS a rookie, but he's on a new role. No, he's been on that role.
Oh,
Cubby?
Hey folks, sorry for the technical error here. Unfortunately for this podcast, something tragic happened with my PC. I accidentally left the call. When I came back, my mic didn't pick up for the rest of the episode. So this one's going to be edited a little bit extra. Still want to salvage everything I can with hooks. Fortunately for you guys, it's probably your dream that I'm just going to be muted for the rest of this. So going to be a lot of clipping, editing. I'm going to try and add some fades, do what I can. I sincerely apologize for the tragic error that happened on my end. Won't happen again. We got a backup plan so this doesn't happen. And most of all, sincere apologies to Hooks as well. We had a fantastic conversation. I think that you're going to enjoy the rest of the episode. That's why it's a little bit shorter this time around. And, you know, get all the good thoughts we could get from him in this one, and you guys just don't have to hear my dumbass. So that said, I'm going to continue with the rest of the episode. Here goes.
You know what? I get a chance to rephrase it because we're going to edit that out. So, okay. So on this team, you've had the chance to work with 2 rookies in Keel and Team Luke, and you've had a lot of experience last year doing the exact same thing with 4 rookies on 100 Next throughout the entire year. Is being a veteran voice on a team something that you've enjoyed doing in this year and last year as well?
Yeah, I think last year it was really, I would say, easy to be like a veteran voice because I felt like we were like last year we were just like winning every lane, just winning. We were just in a winning position like almost every game, I'd say. Um, I still think it's like good to have, especially when we're behind. Like I was the person that whenever we were behind, it's like, okay, guys, this is what we need to do. But I think playing from ahead, it's so easy to be a leader. What I've learned from this year is, at least for me, myself, like I've been working on myself mechanically, and a lot of stuff that I've been getting away with in amateur, like I wasn't up to par, I'd say, instantly. Finally, against the academy players, like they would punish. So honestly, being a vocal leader is like, I don't really like the term shot caller. This is not, like, it's kind of interesting because being a leader in the game is like, I don't know. I feel like everything just flows together smoothly, and I feel like a lot of stuff comes from like out of game, and I think that's like what me and Kevin, when we were on 100 Next, we did well. Like I felt like we just flowed as a team smoothly, but I felt like we couldn't really establish that too much when with our new rookies at the beginning. I think the competition is just harder. I don't know. I think it's like, I guess I don't know how to phrase it. What was the question exactly? Like, do I like being a vocal leader? I don't know. This is a weird tangent, but it's like fun and all, but I wouldn't really classify myself as like a full leader because I don't know. The way I see it is like it's like a team cohesion and synergy. I feel like I am a leader in that regard, but I feel like everyone has to buy in on the same page. I'm not sure if I'm like expressing this correctly. I'm not sure. In my head, it's like the whole team buys in on the same idea, like pre-game, in-game, and I think that's where like the infrastructure comes in. And yeah, I mean, I guess I do have out-of-game leadership qualities when I was on 100 Thieves Next and stuff, but yeah, I think we just had really good, like, you just had really good talent last year. It made it easy being like ahead in game.
Yeah, I mean, winning is fun and easy. Not easy, but winning while you're winning is definitely easy to close out the game in that way. And it doesn't hurt to have tenacity gapping everyone top lane for an entire year. That was very fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like I don't know. I guess that this question I've thought about this for my like, I've just thought about being a leader and like what it takes or like what is a leader in a League of Legends like team. I felt like this question I've thought about and I've talked to, and I think this would actually take like a longer time to explain like what I think about it. So I think I kind of just like went on a just broad topic. But like I would have to go more in depth. I don't think
that's completely fine. I mean, Cubby, you got time? I mean, we can stay here for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I think this year it's really good to have teams like Solo Fide, No Work. I think that's really, really, really good for the amateur scene. Like people, I think their first gut reaction was like, "Oh man, like why the hell are these LCS players in amateur like these guys should just like retire and stuff. But if you think about it, you want these players in the soil of the 16-year-old, 17-year-olds, the people that are playing amateur. It's like, these are the people that have played for years. They clearly have like experience, and they're just good players that didn't quite work out on their team. And I think having players just like spanking the new upcoming teams and like giving them a goal, be like, yeah, our team, we want to take down like Solo Fide. These guys are just like 5 LCS like academy players. Like, like screw these guys. We need to like just get better and beat them. I think it's just really good to have an environment for the amateur scene for NA.
Have you enjoyed seeing your old teammate Jean as the amateur villain in that regard?
Yeah, they definitely make themselves the villain. I think it's kind of justified with what they've been saying. I think they are the villains of NA amateur. Yeah, I've been watching him. I still talk to him to this day. Like, we still have our group chat. So yeah, it's still fun to watch.
Yeah, we actually knew that because he told us about it in his episode, which was very fun. He was like, yeah, I still talk to Osama and Kevin all the time. We're like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then we were like, what if we got them on the show too? Let's see if they say the same thing about you. So I'm glad it's mutual. We have to check off the third box to see if Kevin's bought it.
I gotta get Kevin in here.
Yeah,
you gotta push him. He might say no at first, but I'll give him the push.
Okay. Thank you for the vouch bucks. Okay, let's get back to stuff that isn't chicken. Oh, we can keep talking about chicken. That's fine by me too.
Tuesday chicken.
Oh yes.
Tuesday chicken.
Yeah. Has he played the Birdio chicken Galio skin yet?
I think he does. Funny enough, I like the Infernal Galio skin, but my mid laner RGS, he says whenever I use it, like the Galio ult is like red. So it's like he doesn't want me using it because he thinks it's like the enemy Galio or like it's an enemy Galio or some reason. So now I'm just full Birdio Galio whenever I play it.
That's pretty funny. That's really interesting. I didn't think about that. Where you like have a very helpful circle, and I wonder if you like use the Hextech Galio skin, because that one's blue, right? When you use all of that, I wonder if people get hit by that more because it's blue.
Actually, maybe I should switch to Hextech now.
Yeah, that's. I might have just given you the secret tech. Actually, does it change colors to red if you're against the Hextech Galio?
Probably does.
We'll need to do some testing after this.
It should only matter. I told RDS, I'm like, yo, it should only matter if they have like a Silas on their team. But
yeah,
like we picked Galio, it's gonna be me, bro. It's like I'm the one. I'm the only one that can ult, put a huge circle on the map.
That's pretty funny. Yeah. Speaking of your move to support, I have some questions, because it's a little known fact about me, but I actually also used to be an AD carry main. Now, I was never as good as you at either role, but I made the same swap as you. I used to be a Quinn AD carry one trick back in the day, back in season 4. I'm getting to the point. Okay. But you just recently swapped over to support just last year. How has that swap gone for you? Because I think we've seen some very successful swaps to support over the years. Core JJ, He, those are the most notable NA ones, of course, but it's happened all over the place. How well do you think you've acclimated to that role on 100X and also this year on CLG Academy?
Yeah, I mean, before I even swapped, it was something that I was thinking about for like even before I played TCS. I was thinking about playing TCS as a support, but decided to go as AD and then played 100 Thieves next as AD. But eventually I did swap, and it just made sense for a bunch of reasons. I personally, it's been really fun. It's like a new motivation boost, like a refresher for the league. And I think when I first swapped, I was in East Coast, and it felt like it was just really easy to get challenger support. I'm not sure why, but maybe it's the thing. Yeah, it was like really. I instantly got challenger, and I maintained it for like the whole time as well. It was like, I mean, I dropped once. I had a really bad tilt speed. I went from like 900 LP to like 97, but then it took me like a week of like getting my shit together, and I went back to challenger. But yeah, I think playing on low ping and playing support, I don't know, it was like really easy, and it was really fun as well, especially on 100 next. Like played a lot of blitzcrank games. Like you just show up, and I don't know, you just get to so much playmaking, so much agency in the game as a support compared to AD. Like whenever I lose a game nowadays as a support, it's like, well, I could have done like this. Like I could have went here. I could have played these situations out. I could have maybe not engaged. I could have engaged. Like there's so many things I feel like you can do as a support, and yeah, I mean, it's good to not get overwhelmed, but at first, but you just gotta like quickly learn those stuff because people have been playing it longer than me. But it's really fun to learn like a whole new role of league.
Yeah. I swapped because I got mad at my supports being bad. And then I realized that that's just true of bot lane in general in solo queue. So I didn't solve my problems, but I'm glad to hear that it solved yours. It wasn't it didn't fix all of my stuff. I still have to be good. It did not come easily to me to hit challenger. I still haven't done that. But maybe now with these words of wisdom I can do that.
Yeah, I think solo queue is like for me when I first started, it was just so much of it was just mechanics, like champion interactions, and yeah, competitive is like you can use your words, you can set up stuff with your jungler as well. Like playing with your jungler is just such a big part. And in solo queue, your jungler is gonna do whatever the hell he wants. If he wants that extra Krug camp, he's gonna get that extra Krug camp. So yeah, it's nothing you can do about that.
Did the spark for you to swap over to support start in season 8 when you were playing the wizard bot lane with Ephraim?
I would say it started dead. I think it started right when I got kicked off CLG for the first time as an AD. I just figured, or yeah, it was like around there because I mean, um, I did like 2 LCS games, went 0-2, played AD, didn't make playoffs for summer. I think that year. I think we made playoffs. We got 3-0 in quarters, and then summer we didn't even make playoffs. Went 0-2 in LCS, and I was like, well, there's a lot of new AD talents that are moving up. Like NA ADs are like, it's like jungle and AD are the top two for NA, I feel. And it was just like, a lot of people, a lot of my peers, coaches were saying NA needs supports. So ever since then, I was like before TCS, like I was going to play TCS as a support, but held off a little bit. Zix messaged me. He's like, hey, do you want to like 100 next? I was like, yeah, I'll play as AD. And then we lost it. What was it like? UPL losers bracket? Like, yeah, because like we got like disqualified. Like we were winning everything. We got disqualified from the first match because of like I believe one of our players couldn't make it to the game. So it's like we had a second life, so we're like, all right, whatever. Like we'll just tank the hit, and then we just played randomly and we lost. And I was like, well, like if I can't win as amateur AD, and I mean it was kind of tragic back then. I think like a lot of, I mean, we were just like rookies, like playing with a bunch of rookies, and we kind of just trolled what we had to do. And then randomly, Poom's wrist like blow out or something. I was like, well, there's no better time than to swap than right now. So I just, yeah, it just made sense. It was because we were gonna get a new AD or a new
Yeah.
support or a new AD, and I was like, I just told Kevin, and Kevin told me, he's like, yeah, like you should just for sure do it. I was like, yeah, I agree, and I swapped.
And then enter Jan. Or I guess
You know,
Same.
Jan, one thing that's really impressed me with him, he's like one of the few pros that I feel like has gone pro, and he's like from West Coast. Like he was like 1K LP 1100, and he lives in Cali. So I was just going. I remember having a convo with someone, and we were just talking about all the like up and like new player talents in academy, and it's like most of them East Coast, low ping. Like usually that's a common trend, and then Jan was like one of the few that was a West Coast high LP. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, we did so much fasting Senna back.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Senna says Senna Maokai occasionally. Yeah, that was
No.
fun. Yeah, no, Tom.
Well, yeah. I mean, it worked out. He's now on a top academy team, looking super solid. So, I mean, it's been really fun for us watching Jan do that, and then your other former teammates also first place. The in Kenvi and Tenacity. So, how has that been for you? Like watching all those friends of yours like hit the top of the table there for academy.
It's good seeing him do well. NXI, everyone, uh,
Yeah.
Kenny, Tassie, Copy as well. I mean, all of them are
Right.
just
Yeah.
top. They're literally all in the top three. So, really bittersweet feeling because we're in Giant Slayer, or I'm in Giant Slayer. So, I kind of got left out to dry. We're not really doing well. I mean, a lot of different factors. I'd say why. I
Right.
mean, it's
Yeah.
being split, but still happy for them. I think they're doing really well. It's just I hope they keep it up, and hopefully like I just want to see everyone I play with go to LCS. So I
Yeah.
think they can do it.
Absolutely. I do too. They've been looking very solid. I've been especially excited about Jan. And of course his support Ayla is looking crazy good too. Those guys are
Its
just carrying
support
the
is good.
tournament.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Ayla is good.
I'm also curious, have you caught a lot of the games of the new 100 Next team? Have you seen any of their stuff?
Um, yeah,
Right.
I've talked to Kevin. I still talk to him, so he tells me about it. Haven't really. I've seen like a little bit of their games. I don't think the Legacy's doing too well for their second season, but
Mm.
you know, I think the major thing about this is like, I mean, I guess I was going on about my thing with like you need a veteran, but I just feel like yeah, it would help for them to have a voice or like one or two veterans. Kind of, I'm not sure why they're not succeeding, but I think also one of the major factors is the competition is just a lot harder this time around.
Absolutely.
I'm sure they're actually still five good players, um, but I think just the talent or the people that have like went drop down to play an amateur, like yeah, I mean, it's gonna be hard for five rookies. Yeah, I'm gonna get back to them. I can't let all the Zoomers beat me. So, yeah, I'm getting left out to dry real quick. I gotta catch it up. Catch up.
Yeah. So you mentioned that there's a lot more competition this year compared to last year. I definitely agree. There were no solo fides last year. But as someone who was in one of the top teams last year coming into this one, um, what do you think like the biggest difference in this year compared to last one is that makes it that way? Because obviously it is the same tournament as academy, so the top teams in amateur will be playing against them, and that's just obviously going to be more competition. But um do you think that's the only thing about it, or is there something about the format that you think is really good for that,
For the amateur or academy side, or
for the
just
amateur
everything.
competition? Yeah.
I mean, I think the amateur, I think they still play a lot of games, which I think is just always good. Like I said, better players went dropped down to play. I think it's really cool, the proving grounds. I think they could have optimized it better because I think Academy kind of gets left out to dry. I think I was thinking about a way to optimize it. I don't know exactly, but maybe like, yeah, like bottom 4 team in Academy. Like, why is there like 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th? Like, yo, if we're not top 6, we're not top 6. Just put us in like these qualifiers. It seems weird that these 6 weeks for top 6 Academy just have to wait. What are your ideas? I mean, I think like the qualifiers should be like really like right after our season ended. It should be like next week. The 4 Academy teams are they sync up with the amateur teams, and it should already take like 2 weeks max. I feel like should be the wait period between playing again, especially if we're only playing 9 games in Academy. So
Yeah. Well, there's that Cubby, but there's also like, well, for reference here, Hooks, we've talked about this stuff like a lot because we want to get a lot of perspectives going into the next season. Not that we have any say in how things are fixed, but if we're telling people, hey, if we're loud enough, fix this stuff. But anyway, one of the solutions that was brought to us on Wednesday by Zoo was that the Academy split should have best of 3s because
definitely. No one
nobody
even watches our games anyways. You know, the viewership is so low. It's like, yo,
they don't even
like,
tweet about it.
let us like put in reps. Like, if no one's watching, like, just put highlights. Like, you know what? One of the ideas I had is like, you know, let us play like 20 plus games or whatever in like in a week, or like over 10 games in a week. I'm not sure, just a number, and then like do a thing where it's like the highlights of players. Like, you know, put it on like a highlight of a team. Like, oh, look at this engage by this guy. Look at this, like, oh, this AD has like a good, I don't know, just throw a stat, like a good KDA, good DPM this week. I don't know, like just put like things, because no one's watching our games. Like, it is what it is. Like, I think for me, one thing I have like, or what I think I've thought of is like, you know, we shouldn't follow the LCS schedule at all as Academy and amateur. It should just be one big clump, I feel like. And one thing I feel like that drives hype and like viewership is tournaments. I think tournaments are just straight up just better, I feel like you can do, yeah, like group stage. I don't know, you can do so many different types of formats with tournaments. And then one other thing is like bigger prize pools as well. Like, I think no one really, I mean, I don't think the players really care about it that much, but I think one insane, viewers do. And like, if you, obviously it's never going to go to the level of Fortnite, but like, I just feel like general, like, oh, 50K prize pool, like just put that as a headline, like clickbait, like people are gonna TCS, like, you know, it's like, I wouldn't mind as a player, like obviously I'm my own player, I have my own opinion, but I wouldn't mind taking a salary cut to like try to win it back in like tournament earnings, like a higher high. Like, obviously I don't think it'll ever happen because like even winning LCS is such low actual money. Like, it's like it's like it's like 1 week of a player salary, or like 2 weeks of some player. Like, you know, I think it would be cool to like play in like a 50K tournament. Like, playing TCS was so fun. Like, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to curse, but it was so fucking fun playing in TCS. Like, just it's, I don't know. It's like it was just all or nothing as well. It was like I either get 10K or I get nothing, and I don't know. It was just such a fun experience playing in it, and just the whole group state, like everything about it was just really fun. And I feel like it's actually good to do that a lot, but I don't know. It's better than 9 games. I feel like anything is better than 9 regular season games. But yeah, and there's like interviews, trash talk. Like, I don't know. It's so much better. I feel like.
If I am capable of having like a full conversation with someone in the Academy Twitch chat, then something is wrong. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, it happens every single stream. I'm talking with people just in the Academy chat because it's just so slow. I'm like,
I mean, when it first came out, Academy had a lot of viewership, but
Mhm.
I mean, it's just slowly been declining.
Yeah.
I remember when I first played Academy, I was in like the first year of Academy. It was like 20,000 viewers, I believe, like
Mhm.
10 to 20, and then just going down.
Yeah, I was right.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear from you that like the competition has been really good this year because I think that was their main goal was to make sure that Academy was well. It's mostly a change for amateur, right? Because now amateur has like a pseudo relegation thing, which people have been asking for years. So like they get to interact and maybe even beat the academy teams, which is really cool. So I think that
Yeah.
aspect of it is very nice. But
Yeah, I feel like final thing to say about like the amateur academy, like I really wish I don't think it'll ever happen because the amount of money that is synced into LA, but I genuinely feel like there's just if somehow we just moved to Chicago,
yep.
it's just I I hate to always like try to make it sound like I'm making excuses and like pro players are making excuses, but I don't know. Like if you go to reaction tests and like let's say I get like 160 reaction time, 160 MS, and then I just slap on 50 to 60 ping on it, like every single one of my clicks is just 25% increase for like no reason. And I think amateur and academy, like I wish everyone was just in one or like Academy was closer. LCS, I mean, it should just be low ping. I think a big reason why Academy teams aren't scrimming amateur teams is, from what I've heard, is just the ping. Like the
Wow.
like Academy team is gonna want to play on LA, and the amateur teams are gonna want to play East Coast because they're majority East Coast. So, or Chicago. So it just kind of sucks that that's the case. I'm not sure. What do you? I mean, I'm not sure what you guys think, but it, it just
Yeah.
sucks. I guess there's nothing to do about it. Yeah, yeah. No, dude. I mean, it's just more of like, yeah. I don't know. Like, I mean, it's just COVID and all. So like, we're playing online the whole time, anyways. So
Yeah.
it's like, it's funny how like if us five, us six were to like for the Giant Slayer, because we play in Chicago, like it would just be beneficial to like get an Airbnb in Chicago and just play there. Like you literally just get an advantage. Um, it's just like I don't like how that's a thing. Like I mean, it is what it is. It's just like you said, it's probably just unsolvable. I wish, I wish we didn't like it. I wish a riot wasn't based in LA. Just put in everything in Chicago, but I mean, I guess it just is what it is. Can't really
Yeah.
do much about it. One day.
Yeah. It's maybe one day. Yeah, exactly. We'll see
Yeah.
if it is solvable eventually. But I, for one, would like to move to a more fun topic. So I'm gonna push us over there, Osama. We've got a very special game show that we're bringing back for this episode. It is called "Do You Know Your Champ?" Is a quiz show where we ask 5 questions to you, Osama, and Cubby can help you out.
Five.
Yeah, 5 questions. They get harder and harder as they go on, and it'll be about the champions in your role. Except for this very special episode of Do You Know Your Champ, I have made it exclusively about hooks because that's your name. So
Oh
we're
god, I'm being put on the spot. Okay.
we're only going to talk about champions with hooks. Now, what I mean by that, I've got some qualifications in here. So what qualifies a hook? I've got 3 things. It must be the ability must be attached to the champion and or their weapon to be classified as a hook. So Aatrox does not count with his W. Doesn't count. Your hook must always be hooked in your champion's direction. So Mordekaiser not count. Mordekaiser's not one of them because you can move the claw to be somewhere else and you can walk away from it. So Mordekaiser doesn't count for this. I absolutely did. And it must be applicable. Your hook must be applicable not exclusively as a flip. So Urgot's flip does not count, but Pike's does. Because Pike, you can hook them toward you, but you can also flip them over you. But Urgot's does not count, so Urgot's not a hook champ.
What about and Singe then?
Singe
Or is
is
that
not a
hard?
hook champ. No. Yeah. Also, it's got to be a skill shot. So Rel doesn't count either. All right.
Oh, okay.
All right. So with those out of the way, we've got a few champions left, and we're gonna see if you know your hook champions well. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, Cubby, you're allowed to help a little bit, but your name's not Hooks, so yeah, we'll see. Okay, question number 1, Hooks. Which hook in League of Legends does not appear on a Q ability? So, I'll give you one hint. This champion is not. It's not a champion that I would recommend you play in the support position.
Wait, you said these questions get harder?
They get harder as it goes.
Yo,
Maybe I misordered them. Maybe this one's a little harder than
let me think. I can't pull up a champions list. I just off the dome. That's cheating.
You can. Yeah, I'll allow it. I can come back to this question if you want me to move to the next one. You can give me an answer later.
I'm gonna use the skip.
Okay.
And
I'm gonna move to Nivea doesn't have a hook.
I don't know her wall.
I'm gonna move to a different one. Okay. Maybe this one was a little too hard. All right. Which hook in League of Legends applies grievous wounds?
I mean, if it's not,
This champion is a top laner.
Top laner? What the? Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I could have figured that out. Kled.
Yeah. It is Kled. There you go. All right, nice. All right.
I guess it is a hook, huh?
And trying to find a hook that doesn't appear on Q. Yeah. I'll ask that one last after and see if you guys have got it by the end. All right. Next question.
Yeah.
Which hook in League of Legends has the longest range?
Ooh, I want to say just Blitz, but could be.
Is it? Oh, you guys have different answers. You guys got to align on them.
It's Blitz or Nautilus is what I think.
Okay.
I think it's
helps.
Blitz, but
is that your final answer?
I could be wrong. I'll just say Blitz. These questions.
It is Blitzcrank. Yeah. It is Blitzcrank.
Is it like 1150?
It is 1150. Wow. Okay. Yeah, they had to increase it a little bit before because Blitzcrank's hook was actually shorter range than all the other support hooks. Because all the other ones are 1100 for Pike, Thresh, and Nautilus. But Blitzcrank, they were like, this is like his entire kit, so we're gonna make that one the best. So then they gave it 50 more range than the others. So, yeah.
Oh, Darius.
It is Darius. Darius Apprehend. Wow. Yep. That does count.
Wow.
That is Darius.
I was already at like the N section or M section of champions. I just passed him.
That's pretty good. Oh man. Okay. We've got 2 more. That now that I'm looking, now that I'm hearing a reaction, maybe I ordered them wrong. But anyway, the last one is definitely going to be the hardest, I think. Anyway, question number 4. Which hook in League of Legends has the largest AP ratio?
Blitzcrank? I'll just lock in Blitz.
It is Blitzcrank, yeah. Nautilus is very close. Nautilus is at 90%. Blitzcrank is at 100. So they're very close. But yeah, it is Blitzcrank yet again. He has the highest AP ratio. All right. You've gotten all of them. It took a while for the Darius one, but you're 4 for 4 so far.
Well, I'm like 2 for 4 realistically. I didn't know Spider Darius. Put it along the line.
All right. Final question. Here we go. Which hook in League of Legends slows the user upon hitting an enemy? Slows the user, so the person who is hitting the hook. It slows the user upon hitting an enemy.
Yeah, Thresh, right?
It is Thresh.
Yeah.
Thresh,
okay.
If you hit an enemy with Thresh hook, you yourself are slowed by 20% for 1 second. So yeah.
Okay.
All right. I guess now that I'm thinking about this, it does make sense that the ones that are about top laners would be harder for you as you don't play top lane. So
yeah, the first one, I was like, well, I guess I'm just changing again.
I'm sorry. I am. It's on me for having the harder questions earlier. That's on me. All right. I will take the blame. However, those were the 5 questions. You did get all of them eventually. So the duo of Hooks and Cubby did get a perfect score. That's 5 out of 5. All right. Well, congratulations. You win the high score for Do You Know Your Champ with your host, Smax. There you go. Yeah, the hooker edition. Okay, speaking of that, I actually have a question for you. So if we ever have that support item change released where they increase the range on the enchanter items, where you can ward from 300 range away, are you going to need to change your name to Shields? Because hook champions will no longer be available because you have to play enchanters all the time.
Yeah, I guess I'll be like Guardian or something then. I don't know.
Nice. That's a good one. I like Guardian.
I guess I'll just stick with it. If I swap to another lane, but I don't think that'll be the case.
Well, all right, Hooks. We're about an hour now, I believe, unless the editing really needs some major help here. All right. But yeah. Oh man. But yeah. It's been absolute pleasure having you on. Is there any last parting words that you'd like to say, or any shout outs you'd like to give, or any last topics you want to talk about? We're all ears here.
I just shout out Team Luke. All my teammates have shouted out Team Luke, so I gotta shout him out as well. So we already talked about him, but I just shout him out again. So I mean, my Twitter has my Twitch link. Twitch is just Osama. I don't know how I got it, but somehow I got /Osama. But nothing else really. Yeah, I'm just keeping that. Maybe that's my next name change. Just my name, but I don't think I could do that.
Jungler did that. Both of them actually.
Yeah. True. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you guys have anything, I don't really have anything else. This is fun. Pleasure for having me. Yeah. Oh, you guys are Cubby and Smax duo cast. The favorite.
They separated us. They were too scared of the power. So.
Okay. At least if I get one of you guys to win. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have one question for you. The chairs behind you, whose are those?
We don't actually have a full setup for everyone back in the house. I mean, mainly we play from facility. It's our off day, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna kind of expose us, but these are the old chairs. This is Phil. This one's not a CLG one. This one is actually, you guys gotta guess it.
Oh, I have to guess. Is that? Yeah. I'll go with Omar God.
Omar God. Ooh, that's a good guess, but it's a Wiggly.
Oh, it's Wiggly.
Close. It's a jungler, but
I was in the right position at least.
Yeah, you're close.
All right. This might be bad podcast content, for people listening on audio, but I do kind of want to get your reaction for biting into that Popeye sandwich also.
Dude, I told you before, I have a canker sore, so it's gonna kind of ruin the experience. I have a canker sore.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll put in a little bit of mukbang material into this podcast. I just need to know, because again, I haven't had one. They're always closed. Or not closed. They're just always out of the sandwich. I told you. I told you. Cubby's always sober, not on Sunday.
Chicken sandwich from Popeyes.
Let's get it. Okay.
Oh, is it?
No.
I thought I did, but I didn't. Reminds me of Chick-fil-A for sure. The bun is like softer, which is kind of good. I actually really like it. Maybe this would have tasted a little bit better if I had it right away. Kind of waited. Waited a bit, but I think it's still solid. I'm not too much of a food fanatic. I need to try to gain weight. I need to eat more. So yeah, I think nothing wrong with this. Pretty good. Yeah. Thank you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. This has been episode 12 of the Proving Grounds pod. Tune in tomorrow for episode 13, where we have the mid laner for Barrage APA on for the final episode of the Super Week. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. So definitely tune into that one. We get to hear all the Barrage leaks, I'm sure. He can run his mouth sometimes, so that's gonna be a lot of fun. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. You can find us on all of our platforms. We've got Twitch, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Anchor, and Google. You can check us out on all of that, and our Twitter at PGroundsPod for updates and all things Proving Grounds there as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been episode 12 with Hooks. See y'all next time. Have a good night.